it's tutorial time. Today I am showing you how to create a clutch from a Pringles can. And so first what I do is I take the Pringles can, I take the lid off. I then cut at the metal end, because I don't use this piece at all. I actually use chipboard. I cut, the Pringles cans are about 10 inches or so, maybe a little more depending on the can or if they're warped or not, but I cut it down to 8 inches. So I'm doing an 8-inch clutch. And so I cut this end off with a craft knife carefully. It is not that easy to do, but I do see that a craft knife works pretty well. And then when you cut it off, then you can take the, your scissors to the edges to make it flat. Once I've cut it down to the 8-inch mark, then what I do is I go ahead and I flatten it just on the edges, not trying to get the crease here because you still want it to be rounded, but I try to flatten the edges like that, because what that does is it actually creates the line where you actually want to cut down. So it's exactly even on both sides. So once that is done, then you gesso, obviously. So I have went ahead and got one that I've gessoed. This is just an example. It is not completely even. And even the sides aren't even, but I gessoed the ins and the outs of this. And then I took my die cut machine and I went ahead and I cut out perfect circles, which actually, you can measure it. You can either use this piece as a stencil if you don't have a die cut machine, just so you can get the perfect shape of the round, but otherwise I use a die cut so it is that size. And of course, gesso these. So then once those are done, and you get this taken care of, which is kind of the difficult part for me, is this part. The decorating part's the easy part. Then I took some satin that I had, and I covered the box with satin and the rounders. I did the rounders first, and I took the fabric, so I kind of pre-did it because it was going to take longer than an hour. But I took it and I die cut out circles as well. So you can also do that with your can and stencil two full circles, and then you cut out a little piece that's, this big, and you glue it in. You ladies can probably figure out how to glue that in, and then cut off the excess, and then take the solid circle and put over the top. That way your ends are finished and have a finished quality. So here is the finished quality product of that. Or not quality, but the finished product. And what I've done here is you'll see these little black marks. Those are actually my holes that I took my crocodile to for the side pieces and for the hinge and the closures. I goofed there a little bit, but that's okay because it's going to be covered. But see how the insides are finished? It does help when you're doing that. And the reason why I had already done the holes previous is because using the crocodile through lace and things like that is a lot easier than doing that with the satin plus the chipboard. So I went ahead and pre-cut most of my holes except for these two. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those two, finish those two off. But it does help when you're doing, especially if you're using satin. Now if you're just using paper, you shouldn't have a problem, but definitely want to cut the holes previous if you're using a heavy-duty fabric. So now that that's done, this is where the hinges go, and this is where the hinges go, and this will be where the front piece goes. So now, and I also have brads, which I will show you what I'm going to do with later. But what I decided to do with this project was, I'm going to start with the top first. And I'm going to use this beautiful lace trim from Deb's store. Let's find where the front end is. This is the top end. There's a front side and a back side to every piece of lace. And look how beautiful that is going to be on the front of this project. Let me even it out so it's kind of the same on both sides. Oh, look how beautiful that is going to be. So what I like to use is I like to use Beacon glue. I like the 3-in-1 glue. It is my favorite. I believe that it's messy, sticky, and icky gross sometimes, smells terrible, but I will say that I actually really like the texture of it and how it really does do a really good job for me. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to dab a little bit of glue here, just so that back piece can stay on first, let's turn it around, face me. That'll be helpful, I think. I want to make sure it's even on the front piece. And just dab that down. So it's dabbed just like that. And the other thing about the beacon glue as well is that it gives you a little bit of room for give. So it is very helpful. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. Now it looks like that on the front. Oh, it's so pretty, so pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this excess piece off until I can trim it up. I think I need a bunch of new scissors. It's not, my scissors are about to just say, I don't like you anymore. So do some more beacon glue. I like to just add a little bit. I don't want to add any to the actual lace part itself because, and what I like to do is I like to go like this and just droop it down so it lays how it's supposed to lay and then just tap. And I don't think I need to glue any of that down. I think I'm going to leave that for now until I know how the hinge is going to look. And then I go ahead and I trim it up. Just trim it up. I hope I'm in frame. I'm doing this video a little bit different today than normal. Look how pretty that looks already. And I really like the lavender feel of this fabric underneath, so you can see the lavender showing through. So there's the top part so far. I'm now going to work on the bottom half, which I'm also going to use the same trim. However, I'm going to make sure that it is facing each other. I really like how that looks, so I think that the trim should also face that direction as well. So it gives it that pretty closure feel. So when you close the box, it'll also have this lace maybe offset. I don't know, maybe offset. I think it should be offset. Yeah. So let's just make sure it's really difficult sometimes with lace because, or the boxes I should say, just only because they're in such a weird, you can't hold them up until the feet are on it. You know what I mean? So I do my best. Here we go, that's the right direction. Yes. My allergies are killing me today, so, all right. So that's how it needs to be. And so I'm going to go ahead and cut off this excess piece right now, I believe. So I'm not, yeah, so it's going to be from this piece. Maybe I should use a different pair of scissors. Oh, these cut way better. Okay, so I'm going to cut that end off and down here. So this is the next end piece. I like offsetting the lace so it gives it that pretty feel. So this will be the front piece, which I'm really excited about. This one, however, I will put glue on these flaps first, just because this is the front of the purse. It's the part of the purse that I think everybody's going to touch most often. So I want to make sure that it is just perfect. Good thing about beacon glue is it is repositionable. So I can actually go in and go, okay, let's reposition it, make sure it's perfect before it gets glued down. Perfect. And we'll cut the excess off in a minute. And look how perfect this lace trim, I did really good. It like fit perfect for how I was doing this. So really excited about that. I'm going to put a little bit on the edges of this one because this will be on the bottom and won't be as overly embellished because no one's going to see the bottom as much as the top. So I want to add a little bit of glue to the sides. There we go. And like I said, just let it lay and then tap. But look how pretty. Isn't that gorgeous? So now the top and the bottom of the purse are done. And once the hinge is on, these won't overlap as much, but I like how they overlap like that. So it gives you that clean, crisp look of the laces. So we're going to go ahead and make sure this stays flattened and glued. And I'm going to cut the excess off. because that's important. All the stuff is important. And it's okay if it's a little loose or a little wrinkly, because once we get all the embellishments on, you won't see that part as much. I really just wanted to showcase this lace from Deb's store. It's just so beautiful. And I like how you can add a color of something else underneath it, and you can see right through it. I mean, it is just gorgeous. And just imagine the hinge on the front of this. The hinge on the front of this, I believe this is the top. So here's where the hinge will go. How pretty that is. So once it's all done up, it's just going to be gorgeous. Oh, I cannot wait. Okay. So now that we've got those pieces on, we need to do the sides, which are going to be so pretty. I'm also going to attach on the back side of this. See how that's the back side. I'm going to actually attach a couple things behind it and over it once I get some of the bigger pieces on. This trim right here is just ever so beautiful. I'm going to unroll the whole thing because I'm probably going to use most of it, actually. This is just so beautiful, and I feel like I can attach this to the very back and have that draped down underneath the hinges. Oh, look how beautiful that is, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now so I don't forget, because it is so pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and glue onto this piece right here, just on that strip, maybe a little on these bigger pieces so I can make sure it really sticks down really good. And I'm going to go ahead and attach that right there. Like I said, if there's any excess, it's okay. We can just trim that right off. I'm going to stick that right there. So it will have a little bit of a dangle in the back. Oh gosh, that is so pretty. So of course I'm going to cut the excess off. We don't want this overlapping the corners. So, okay, there we go. I'm going to make a big old mess. My kitty's going to love me. So now we have this, and the back end is going to have that little bit of a dangle. I kind of like the idea of that as well on the front. However, I believe I don't want to do it fully down the front until I see where the hinge lies, which I can do later. So I do love this though. So pretty. And if I have to, I can always trim off the excess of the edges of that as well. But I do like how that dangles in the back now. And we need some dangle in the front, I believe. And then there's also this piece too, which is what I'm going to actually use for the side pieces to also dangle. And it's okay if they dangle, because once I get the feet on, this won't touch the ground, if that makes sense. So these are going to be the side pieces that I use, and they're going to be so pretty once they're on. So let's go ahead and cut 2 of these out for the side pieces. I've already got glue on those. I hope everybody can see. Okay, let's cut 2 of these. Aren't these just beautiful from her store? Even just cut out like that is just so pretty. So let's do, this is the back. They need to be this direction. I believe they need to be that direction. Let's just see how we got this going. They need to go this way. Look how pretty those are. Oh, they're so pretty. I just love this. Just love, 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 love this. Oh, I think I might have goofed a little. That's okay. I'm actually going to do that backwards. Okay, so I did kind of goof a little. That's okay. Kind of made it to where it went. This was on the back side, the wrong direction. So we'll just use dangle trim and do that again on the other side to tie in the 2 dangles. Okay, so now we have that and that. Okay, now this makes more sense. I did it backwards. I'm doing this upside down and backwards behind my camera, so I was trying to make it to where it faced you guys. So that means I do need to put some more of this on the back side of this. And that's okay, I can do that. So my kitty is cooperating today, which is so nice, because normally in any video I do, he is always in my road and wanting to talk to everybody else in the video too. It's like he thinks I'm talking to him. So today he's being a good boy. I think opening up the whole house for him to play in was very helpful today. So, okay, now we'll have a dangle on this back side. And we'll cut off the excess as we go. And this is good. Oh, it's so pretty. I just love how that dangle trims right off. So pretty. Okay, so now that's the back, and this is the front. And look how pretty that is. All right. So now we are going to take these two pieces, and I want to attach them just like that. Ah, they're so pretty. Front and a back, okay. Just want to make sure that whatever I do has a front and a back. Put some good glue. It's okay if it looks like it's too much glue or not enough glue. I'll tell you, when it's on, you won't notice it. I mean, you really won't notice it. So there's just one piece right there. The glue just dries clear, so you can use as much or as little as you want. So then there's the next piece I'm going to glue on. I like gluing it on this first, actually. Big help. And then we will start with some of the embellishing a little bit. Oops. Okay, so this will go just like this. Because this is the bottom. Perfect. Well, there was my cat, if you couldn't hear him. You know, my giant bratty boy that's deciding that he wants to play. So now you have your end pieces that are going to have a little bit of a dangle. I just love how that looks. In my stash, I have quite a few fun things that I found. Just a few, but great. I also ordered from Deb's store this, and they came white. And so what I did was I actually took my sprays and sprayed on top of some vellum just so I had a base. And I took my little dauber here, and I pushed everything away, and I went through and I daubed these with that light lavender color. So they would match the lavender fabric. So you would see these off to the sides. I thought that was a really pretty way, and these are stainable and sprayable and inkable. So, I mean, what a great way to change the color of something to match your project. So that's one of the things that I did with her flowers from the store, and it worked out really well. So, now that we've got this set up, I wonder if you can see this really well. And I love how it dangles, and there's the dangle here and the dangle there. So now I'm going to take another one of these. I'm going to cut two of these out to as well add to the side pieces. I think I'm going to add, I'm just going to fussy cut this one out actually. Just like that. So we have two of these. And I'm going to attach them also to the sides so my base is started. Okay. So I'm going to attach these right here under this flower. You won't see a lot of this piece up top just because that's where the piece is going to go that is going to actually hold the straps, because I'm actually going to attach straps to this. I feel like straps would make a really fun way to add the extra part to the clutch. So there is that pieces now. And we are later on going to attach the flowers. So first we're just going to do this part, and then we will attach more as we go. I really love this. And I almost want to put one of these directly down the center, but the clasp is going to be there. So I need to figure out a way to do that, and I'm pretty sure I will. I think I'm going to put it on the top part or on either side. Haven't quite decided yet. But I want to finish off some of these corner pieces, and I do have some really pretty trim that I could put actually underneath this too, which I also think I should do. There was this other really pretty lavender trim, and it wasn't quite the lavender of my box, but I do like that it gives that extra contrast of lavender. I'm not sure if you can tell the difference, but it is a lavender piece. And I'm going to actually attach it just slightly underneath this dangle to give it a little bit more of that purple tint to it. I think that is really pretty. So we're just going to flap that up. And I'm going to glue all the way across. Oh, come on, glue, cooperate. I would use hot glue because it is faster, but when I'm working with this much fabric, I really like to have the option of being able to move it around in case I goof. Hence why I'll probably only show you how to do this in 1 hour video, because I don't think I will have time to do anything extra. I thought maybe I would, but I don't think I will. Okay, so now I have that just underneath that dangle, which is really pretty. Just give that hint of extra purple. This kind of borders the box. And then under here, I would probably do something similar as well, but I'll wait, like I said, till I get the hinge on. Oh, gosh, that's so pretty, you guys. I just love it. You can see all the pretty stuff hanging off of it. Oh, it's so pretty. Once the feet are on it, you'll be able to see all this dangling off. Such a pretty, pretty, pretty piece. So this little guy, I think I want to add a little bit of sparkle to the side, so I'm going to do that as well. I'm going to do it lower to where the strap, I'm going to do it out and around where the strap's going to be. And I like that idea. I'm just going to kind of create kind of a flower, but only where the strap is not going to be, or where the grommet is going to go. So I can actually, it'll look like a part, it's going to be the underneath of a flower is what it's going to be. As I make a big old giant mess with my fingers. Hold on a second. Let's get this off my fingers. There we go. So I'm going to bunch it up like you would normally a regular flower. So it gives that lacy look to the sides. Perfect. Okay. So we have that little bit right there. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut this one down. So now we have that lacy look, and it's going to actually go behind something I'm going to pull from my stash, and a couple pieces that Deb gifted me actually that I'm going to use quite a few of that I just think are beautiful. So we're going to just trim off that piece so it doesn't overlap. It looks funky, but it's okay because it won't when it's finished. So just make sure that that's tacked down and everything's good. Okay, so you can still see the dangle and the dangle. Like I said, you're not going to see a lot of this piece, but I might cut out a flower of the center so you can. So these are the pieces in my stash that I'm going to rip out the centers of. And I have these beautiful petals like this. But Deb had gifted me quite a few fun things. I love this, but I don't want to cover that necessarily, but I do love how that looks. That is really pretty. So maybe I will do that and then cut out one of the flowers of the other one. That's really pretty, actually. Like how pretty this is. Oh, I didn't want to cover it, but boy, look how beautiful. And so then you have petals of an actual flower. So I think I will go ahead and use this piece. It was some fun lace that was on clearance at a fabric store. Highly unlikely you'll probably get it again, but boy, it sure is pretty. So that's now in the center. And then I'm going to use this. These are from Deb's store. They are absolutely gorgeous. I'm ever so in love with these. I use these on a lot of projects. So there is that piece. Now also in my stash of goodies are these, and look how beautiful those are, right in the center of this piece. Oh, and I love this because it does dry pretty quick. Look how beautiful that is. Oh, I love this. This will be the side of the purse. I'm going to trim this down just a little bit more. There we go. Look how pretty that is, you guys. It's just gorgeous. So now we have the side of the purse before we put in the handle. And the handle will actually go right here, and I'm going to actually do it just slightly underneath this flower when it's dry. So look how beautiful. So we'll go ahead and do this side. But what I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to create the flower part first really quickly, and then I'll do the other part while that part dries. It's really hard to do these. Because you got one side, you got another side, and then you got to wait for it to dry, and it's just not as simple as some people may think. I find it, I prepped before I even started filming because I knew that I was going to need a lot of things done because it takes the longest time, like the spraying of the cans and the paint and the, all the goodies. And so it just, depends on your crafting level and how fast you can create things. And I always pick and pull things from my stash for a while and pull everything together, and then I drape it over everything and look and see if it's something that's pretty or doable, and then I just create from there. I've made only 2 of these cans, so this is actually my this is my second one I've ever done. And I must have watched, I don't know, a gazillion videos on these, and they really weren't, well, just to say I had a heck of a time finding a way to watch them. The lighting was poor, or you couldn't hear the lady talking. It was kind of difficult for me. So, needless to say, I actually enjoy making videos. I hope you guys can see this well. I hope that you guys want to make one of these because they are really pretty. Okay, good side, bad side, good side. All right, and again with the pretty. I did this one such a good way that it don't have to actually use that much glue, and I don't have to cut a lot of the excess off. Oh, look how pretty that is. Just a little bit there. Okay, now we have our sides. Oops. Apparently I needed more glue than that. There we go. Awesome. Now we have our beautiful sides with those beautiful pieces from Deb's store. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, with that being said, I do need to come back in with my big old punch here and make sure that I can still get to these pieces. I might even have to use my craft knife to make sure that I can still get through this hole easily to put the side pieces in, which I'm going to do next before I even try to attach the top or anything else, just because I need to make sure I can get the straps in there. So I'm just going to take my craft knife and go in a couple circles to make sure I can get my end pieces in there so I can clamp them down. So make sure I can get those through the hole. Oh, well, I might not be able to actually do that. There might not be handles on this one, folks. This is too thick. These will be easy, but this is too thick. That's okay. It can be a clutch. You don't have to have a handle, right? Yeah, it'll just be a clutch. Sorry, folks. I tried. I don't think it'll take way too long than the time I have. So, sides are done. Look at the front of this. Isn't it beautiful? That's just the front so far. I am then going to stick my feet on here so I can actually set it up. And I found these in my stash. They were perfect for Deb's peacock feathers that she also had gifted me. They weren't something I had thought about for this project, but as soon as she gifted me the first one and then she gifted me the second one, I thought they were perfect. but I wanted them to be a little bit on the silver side, so I went ahead and used Rub and Buff on these. Again, you can alter things to match your project, so I thought those were perfect, and these were perfect little beads because they matched. So these are going to be my feet, and I'm going to go ahead and set this up like this. And what I do is I like to take from this corner to this corner. I like to do it about 1 inch away from both cuts. So 1 inch and 1 inch, and that will give you your feet. And I also like to do it 1 inch away, well, 1/2 inch away from the actual end piece as well. So, oh, it didn't even glue. So we'll put a dab there. I wonder if you can see that up really close. Okay, good. So we're going to put a dab of glue there. And while these are drying is when I'm going to go ahead and put the, well, I guess we're going to really let those sit in there with the glue. Need to be a little closer, actually, I think. That's okay. We'll make them a little bit closer. So they look like that. They're about 1 inch apart, but they do need to be that inch apart. So make sure you go down to the other end, eyeball it. I usually do. At this point, it's not that easy to measure because you have so many detailed things on your project that it's just not that easy to see. So I go ahead and put these two on. And now I'm going to let them dry while I do the top of the box. Okay, so those are going to sit off to the side and dry, hoping that my fur child leaves them alone. So now this is the top of our box. And I decided, again, just to use one of these pieces because I have used it on the sides already, but I'm also going to use some of this purple trim since I decided to use that as well. So this will actually be glued together, put in the center. I'm going to put it up a little higher, I think, so it just overlays the hinge. So I might actually just put this first hinge on to see if I can overlap it. I sure can. So what I did with the hinges here, like I said, is I poked the holes. They do come with nails. Well, I didn't like the nails, and I felt like even if I used hot glue or something, the nails were actually going to be a big pain. So what I did was I went ahead and cut the holes, but I had picked up brads. And the brads are going to actually hold it in place while the glue dries and also give it just that extra little bling. And I really liked that idea. And I also took the hinge of this as well and used my Rub and Buff on it to give it that silvery look. I really liked that look. Thought that was really pretty. So now that those are in place, you just go over and you open up your brads. And yes, you can cover this on the inside of the purse as you see fit. I probably will not show that in the video, just for time consumption. But all you ladies are crafty. You know how to just cover a hinge or anything like that. So now the hinge part is on. You cannot see it, but that is okay. You can see the lock, and that is just pretty to me. So the hinge part is on, and it is well stable. So now that the hinge is on, I can go ahead and decorate the top, which I'm really excited to do. I'm going to go ahead and do the flower piece here like I had said, and do kind of like what I did to the sides in hopes that I don't get my fingers all gross. So we'll do this first, and then I'll wrinkle and do that, and wrinkle and do this one, and wrinkle and do that one. Just like if you were to do a shabby chic flower, but without the thread. Oh, that's so much better. So much better. And of course I can add more glue and anything else I want. So let's cut this excess off because now that's plenty. So I can hold it up and make sure that all this stays tacked. Okay. And that's okay. I'm going to just add a little dab of glue under that just so it stays down. I love this hinge. It's a really funny hinge that I found too. Just random hinges. Get all the glue off my fingers. All right, so now that that is done, I'm going to do the same thing I did to the sides with this piece right here, which I believe I can actually just kind of stick down already. There's already enough glue. So there's that. I'm going to take these two pieces and I'm going to cut two more of these out. I've figured out what I want to do with them. I'm ever so excited. I think I'm going to add these to the sides. Oh yes. How pretty that's going to be. Because the peacock feathers are going to go on these. So, you know, you got to have the place for the peacock feathers. Because those are going to be on the purse. It's fun creating kind of live because I don't know what I'm going to do. I have all these ideas in my brain and then some things work and some things don't. You just never know. You know, you just never know. That's the fun thing about being creative, I guess. Everything changes as you're going. That's what my mom always taught me anyway. Never set out to make it look like one thing until you've tried working on it. Then you see what happens. I really liked this piece and I didn't put it on. So I think I'm going to cut the center flower out of this because it is so pretty. I'm going to use my little itty bitty scissors, kind of like the other stuff. And cut this flower out, and I'm going to use the end pieces of this flower as well. These little branches are so stinking cute, so we will use those too. And that's why I love these little, I don't know what kind of shears they're called, pinking shears? I don't know. But I was gifted these years and years and years ago by my best friend who lives now in Texas, and she said, you will love these, you know, they're great for your sewing projects, which is funny because all I ever sewed was costumes. And so I kind of giggled at her and I thought, well, you know, sure. Well, they've been sitting in my stash for I don't know how long, and when I started crafting, which literally, I mean, I've always been crafty, but when I started doing stuff like this was literally only maybe since October. And so I started using them. I pulled them out of my stash and said, oh, I have to have these now. So it's pretty funny. I hope you can see that. Isn't that beautiful? So we're going to add this to the other side just to give that extra bit of the lavender in there. I think it's really pretty. I just really love this. Love, 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 love all these trims and laces. Just so pretty. Okay, that is down. It is pretty on both sides. Now I'm going to take, I believe I needed the center. I don't want to use that though. I want to use a piece that, this one. Deb gifted me those two, but I really like this one. Oh, it's just so pretty in the center because I have a beautiful center for this. A gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous center actually. I'm really excited to use it. So, and here is the beautiful center. Look at that resin piece, you guys. Isn't that beautiful? And it matches just, it's just so perfect. Yeah, it couldn't have gotten any better. Oh, it's so pretty. But these are actually kind of bendable too, which is so neat because I'm actually going to do this with them on either side. With these peacock feathers. I love how that looks. Oh, it's so pretty. These peacock feathers are just to die for. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. She also has in the package that I had picked up some tassels. And if I was to do straps, I was going to use the tassels in the straps, but I think I'm actually going to attach the tassels right here. I think that's a great idea. Just right underneath where the peacock feathers are going to lay. I want the tassels to go underneath them so the tassels spray out from underneath to give that little bit of added extra purple. So I'm going to cut the strings off the ends, and there's two tassels, so I'm going to use both. I'm going to do both on both ends. I'm going to go ahead and just adhere the glue down first. I'm going to do one tassel there, and then I'm going to cut the other three. Do the same thing so that there's tassels hanging out from underneath the peacock feathers. Why not? Tassels are pretty. Gives it that little bit of dimension in there too. Something fun to look at. Okay, so the tassels are on, so when these are on, the tassels will be right out from behind them. Oh, how pretty is that? Flare them out. Oh, I love that. Oh, it's so pretty. So pretty. And I like how I'm going to make the peacock feathers go slanted at a little bit of an angle. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay. So, now that those are done, excuse me, I'm going to go ahead and put this resin piece in the center, and I'm going to glue the peacock feathers down so they can dry. Oh, gosh, look at that. It's so pretty, you guys. So, so, so pretty. I'm going to go ahead and attach the back two hinges before I put the peacock feathers on. Well, at least these two hinges anyway. Just two pieces of the hinges. See if you can see what I'm doing. Again, with the brads, which I really, really, really like. So, the brads are very helpful. Because I'll put a little bit of glue too, but the brads are what make it really stay in place. If I can even get it through the holes now. I gotta find where my little pieces are. Oh, maybe it would be easier if I did it this direction first to see where they come out at. Okay, now I know. Now I know where they come out at. And my fingers are icky, so please forgive me. They're covered in glue now. Okay, maybe this will help. Let's get all the pieces of glue off my fingers. Okay. Much, 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 much better. Yes, there we go. Now I found the hole. So let's go like this. And the Tim Holtz, these are the Tim Holtz hinges. They do come with brads already. But I really wanted the bigger brads just because this is a box and I really want to make sure that it is really sturdy. So come on, there we go. Yay. So that will be our hinge on the back. I'm going to get the other one going on the other side, just so we have those two pieces done before we attach the bottom half. And I have to do the same thing on this side as I did the last side, just to see where my hole is through the lace. Okay, and I think that's where the hole was. Yes. Okay, good. Sorry, folks. You know, the hardware part of it. But I need this on before I can finish the top of the box. So, that's really important. Oh, wrong side. Oh my gosh, I just lose, there we go. I'm like, I didn't lose my spot. And like I said, you can cover the insides of these. I will eventually, like I said, not on camera though. But I do like how the hinges look. I've never done one with hinges, so this is actually my first time. And look how pretty that is. So let's just double check and make sure these are almost adhered down. So now, if you were to look at it, it sits up. Now the box sits up because it has feet, which is very, very, very important. Oh, it's so pretty. Look at this, you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and attach these now because I need to put these guys in. Very important situation. So let's put the holes through. Just bear with me. I'll try to make it quick. I think I have another 20 minutes, guys. 20 more minutes. Okay. And then I can put the peacock feathers on, and then we will be good to go. Okay, come on guys, I know you're in there somewhere. There we go. And then I'm going to finish it up with a couple pieces of trim as well that are super, super, super pretty. See, this is the fun part, the hinges. I'm going to go ahead and open that one up right now just so I can get that one on. Look how pretty the back of that is with the hinges, you guys. So pretty. All right, let's get this one going. I believe it should be on track. Should be. Should be and is are two different things. So let's just get this one going. Okay. Aha, I did it. Yay. I felt it. I did it for a second and then it fell apart. I'm a little shaky today. I think I didn't get enough sleep. Okay, there's that one. And there goes my kitty being naughty. Lancey, be a good boy, please. Thank you. Okay. Now these ones should be on point. I can stick these through and, yep, good. I don't have to freak out about where they come out at. Good, yay. Okay, there's that one. I always feel like if I do the corners first, it makes it easier, and then we go on from there. And then this one goes in. Yep, and facet that one. Perfect. So now our box sits up and we have our hinges. But now we need to do the clasp. Clasp is last. And here is my clasp. I really cannot wait. It's so pretty. How pretty that is. Oh, it's so pretty. So it actually sits up. All right, folks, I'm back. Sorry for the delay. My camera phone, which is what I video on, decided to say bye-bye. So we left off where the hinges went on, and I finally got this one attached. So now it is attached. I also went ahead and used those lilies that I had colored and put alongside this side piece right here. And I decided that for the back, I'm going to cut two of these pieces and glue them right to there on the upper part. Not on the lower part, the upper part. I'm kind of glad I looked up to see if my video is still videoing because I was really upset that it wasn't. So I'm going to go ahead and put glue again on the top part. Don't glue over the hinge if you don't want it to not stay, but you do want it to show and dangle. So I have those pieces there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this really pretty flower for the back as well, because you never know, you might hold it that way. So I'm going to take this big flower and I'm going to put this on the very, 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 very back. So we'll also dangle down. So in the back, you'll see this piece like this. I love how that looks. I do not have a gem for that, but that's okay. You know, you don't always have to have gems on everything. I mean, I could put one on later. I could add another piece like that later if I wanted to, but I like how this just dangles in the back to give it that little bit of color. Because you know, when you have it on the counter, at least the back is pretty too, and of course the sides. I should get more of those to finish this. I just think it's so pretty. So now the box sits up. It's got the hinge, it's got the closure, it's got the clasp, it's got the pieces, the beautiful pieces on the front. Again, it opens all the way, this is why I like the hinges. And when you open it, this doesn't hurt it. That's why you always want to glue above the top. Of course, you guys already probably know that. But I love how it finishes, just finishes off that box. So now that those pieces are on and this overlaps and nothing is connecting each other, nothing is stopping it from going or moving, I want to go ahead and use some other pieces that I just think are so pretty. From here down, I believe, I want to use some of this. But I only want to attach just a little bit to right there where it starts to dangle, because I just think that's so pretty. And so I think I'm going to add a little bit of these pieces. This was gifted. So this is what was gifted, and this is what I had picked up. And I thought, well, I don't know, maybe I should use the piece that was picked up. Oh, I don't know. They're all just so pretty. It's so hard to tell. I really like this one, but I don't think you're going to see it as much as this one, which I'd never seen, and I really just like how that looks with the ruffles. I think I'm going to use that, and I'm just going to attach it right here, just to where the clasp ends. So I'm going to go ahead and use the other end, I believe, and cut the tape off so there is no tape on there, which is so nice because she always packages everything so perfect. And oh, look at that. So we have a little bit of pearl bling back there. I think I'm going to cut it right here. It'll just overlap a little bit. I just want to make sure that when I open it up, oh, perfect. Still pretty and still gorgeous. I just love that piece. Actually, I do need to cut it to that pearl right there. Okay, perfect. I like how that looks. Do the same thing on the other side. Sorry, folks. My glue. I've used so much of this glue. I feel like I just need to have like gallons and gallons and gallons of this stuff. Glue is always a must anyway in anybody's stash, but yes. Can't believe my phone just timed out like that. I guess it's just because I'm using my phone. I normally don't do hour-long videos, so this is my first one, folks. I'm glad you guys are watching. Okay, so now we have the back bling. That's the back. I mean, the back is just as beautiful as the front. I mean, it is just so gorgeous. Look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, it's just so pretty. So there's the front piece. And I have already done the feet. I've done everything I can possibly think of that I would love to do for this project. The tassels are in place. They're going to frill out up underneath these peacock feathers, which I'm going to put in at an angle like this, like I showed before. And once those are glued, then this purse will be done. But I feel like I'm still missing maybe one or two more things, and I feel like maybe I should use some of this trim to border the clasp, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to border the clasp with this trim just to give it that little extra element to the very front. I think it's really a pretty trim, and I'm just in love with it. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do, folks. I'm going to border it with this trim piece just like that. Oh, it's so pretty. I just love this pearl trim. I just want lots and lots and lots of this pearl trim. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Oh, that's so pretty like that. I'm going to trim it right there. Make sure it stays down. Oh, I love that look of that in there. Oh, look how pretty this is, you guys. It is just so gorgeous. Okay, so now that we've got all that put on, just want to double check to make sure there's no other places where I kind of want to put extra goodies. I may, in fact, well, let's see. I was going to use this as a strap, and this is a really pretty cording trim that Deb has at her store as well, but because like I said before, I might be able to get them in later, but it'll take too much time for me to hollow them out for the strap. But this is what I would use for the strap. Again, you know, it is closing. This is just, I'm actually surprising myself, folks, because I've actually never used hinges. So this is all new. Really excited. Oh, I love how the back of this looks. I wish you guys could see all of this all the time. How pretty, pretty, pretty. Okay, I think I'm ready to glue the peacock feathers on. I think I'm ready. I think they're just that pretty and done. I love how the peacock feathers were the perfect shades. And I, you know, like I said, I wasn't going to use these, but I'm so glad I did. I believe that it was meant to be, is what I believe. So at the angle, so that these come out. I love it at the angle. Yes, definitely love it at the angle. I'm going to put something behind this so it will stay up like that. There we go. So you guys can see it better. So thank you guys for coming today and watching this with me. This is my first real tutorial. I've done some, but not like for this long, where I've done something that actually takes me normally way longer than an hour. Just so you know, these take me a lot longer than an hour. So this was pretty fun because I got to create something that I normally would create all by myself at home and just show pictures of later. So this is actually a lot of fun for me. I want to make sure that stays down. Okay, folks, we have our clutch. And look how pretty that is if you were just to hold it like this. I just love how that looks. Oh, it's so beautiful. Thank you, Deb, so much for letting me participate in such a fun tutorial. And again, folks, go to her store. Look at these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pieces. Gosh, these are just beautiful. I could not have done this without any of these gorgeous pieces. This project just turned out way prettier than I had ever anticipated. So thank you so much, guys, for coming, and thank you for watching the video. I hope you guys create one of these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful boxes. And another quick tip, just so you guys know, they have these Martha Stewart. This came from Deb's store, and I don't know if you can tell by the video, but it is super thick and beautiful. This was that Martha Stewart decoupage crap. First of all, look how flimsy that is. This does not do that. I can go fast, but it does not do what this does. These are just really flimsy, and her quality of her product is just amazing. So definitely order some of the products that she has from her store. You can just create some of the most beautiful projects with them. So let's look again. The sides, the top, the front. The very top is not as, you know, pretty, but that's okay. There's the back. Like I said, I am going to find a gem for that to put in the center because it is so pretty. It needs a center. But look how pretty all this dangle is, you guys. And all this dangle on the side. The dangles on the side are beautiful. And then, of course, a little bit of dangle up the front. And I may, in fact, even add these later as a dangle on either side right here, because I left that open so I could put dangle if I wanted to, but I really wanted to show the feet too. So thank you for coming today, folks, and I hope you have a wonderful day.